Okay, we're going to get started. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this event. We're here to draw attention to an aspect of the national border crisis, the mass migration crisis, that gets far too little attention in terms of its impacts on U.S. national security and on the migrant flow as a humanitarian crisis. We wanted to choose to talk about the Darien Gap, which is a wild jungle passage that connects South America to North America as a migrant route. The numbers of migrants, as a lot of you already know, have hit historic heights overall that have reached the border. 1.7 million as of the end of October. It's probably closer to 1.9 million once we get the November numbers in. The vast majority of those migrants are from Central America and Mexico. However, we draw attention to the Darien Gap because probably another record is that migrants from 150 different countries also are coming in the greatest percentages that we've seen. The way that those migrants are reaching our border is often to fly into South America and make their way to Colombia. We have a map up here that kind of shows the general idea. We are looking at a large number of South Americans, such as Brazilians and Ecuadorians and the like. But we also are seeing a tremendous number of people from outside the hemisphere and also from Haiti, huge numbers from Haiti and Cuba, the Caribbean, but also from places like Syria, Pakistan, all the countries of the Middle East, a great many countries of Central Africa, Northwest and Northeast Africa, the Mauritanians, Senegalese, people from countries that are afflicted by terrible tribal warfare. We don't know who these people are. We talk about the Darien Gap as a route that is a diplomatic problem for the United States as much as it is a border control issue, because there are three countries that are involved, primarily Colombia, Panama, and Costa Rica. Those three countries form what we call a choke point, a bottleneck, a place where this migration could be stopped or retarded or reduced if we needed to or wanted to do that, if somebody were to pay attention to the issue here. Why should we pay attention? Two main reasons. One is national security. A lot of the countries that I just mentioned are places of terrorism concern, tribal warlordism, terrible human rights problems. We don't know whether the people who are coming are perpetrators or victims. We don't know who they are at all. They drop their ID cards often at the border before they cross. And that leaves us to try to figure it out. That's a national security issue for the United States. The numbers, according to the New York Times, which actually went down there this year, are 100,000. In a normal year, you're looking at about 8,000, 7,000, 100,000 this year alone. A great many of those migrants I've interviewed, they tell me that they're coming because Joe Biden opened the border and he's nicer, and that's the reason that they're coming. And they're dying along the way as well. With that, I'm very proud to have Francisco Agapi here, who flew in from Panama. He lives in the Darien Gap. These are our three panelists. He'll start us off. He serves as the mayor of Cémaco, Panama, which is located near the Darien province, which is home to the Darien Gap on the Panama side. This is a region that is wilderness, no cell phone service, electricity, nothing out there. And the Embera people live a traditionalist lifestyle, and they are in the middle of this mass migration through that gap. And I'm very happy that he's here and that he traveled all this way to share the tribe's experience with that. We also have Michael Jan, who is an award-winning war correspondent. I brought Michael in because he spent 4 months in the Darien Gap and in the jungle and with the indigenous peoples there and among the migrants, and has a lot of firsthand experience with the situation. Michael has studied migration from the ground in Morocco, Greece, Lithuania, Colombia, Panama, Mexico, and he also has spent a lot of time with the Panamanian police and the migrants and NGOs down there, very knowledgeable about what's happening on both sides, Colombia and Panama. And lastly, we're very happy to have Representative Tom Tiffany, freshman from Wisconsin, a northern state. He is here because he understands that southern border security is national security to include his northern state of Wisconsin. And he went to the Darien Gap on his own earlier this year in the canoes, in the jungle, and out with the indigenous people to see firsthand what was happening. He serves on the Subcommittee on Immigration and Citizenship and the Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security. And we're very happy to have these three panelists here. I've also spent quite a bit of time in Panama and in Costa Rica with the migrants. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Francisco over on the far end. He has an interpreter, Carlos, who's going to help him translate his messaging.